My body of work falls under the common thread of the discovery of spirituality, and I have used many materials and very contrasting and different materials to compose them. Spirituality in my body of work plays the role of directing my creation of art. So with like the initial interest in spirituality, I have created my first few artworks, such as the bed and the gear wheels. So they are like the my first thoughts on this topic of spirituality. Then the spirituality, this concept, have led me to come up with questions such as, what are the practices of human action, and are they simple or are they more complex than what we think? So these questions and my thoughts with my readings in several literature works have led me to create more works beyond the simple concept of spirit and body. I have explored the relationship between migrants and spirituality in several works from my body of work, and then I have discovered this internal migration that is specific to China and very common in China, that have a very deep relationship with spirituality, because with the discovery of the inner self and the body, I have dig deeper in this topic by the concept of the stages of the psyche, first suggested by Sigmund Freud, which is the id, ego, and the superego. And then with this concept, I was able to find that the internal migrants and internal migration in China, like they are in this situation where their id, ego, and superego are conflicting between themselves, which I thought it's a sufficient topic for me to discover using my artwork about the continuation or the transportation of inner self, the body, the transportation of the body, but when their inner self or spirits stays behind them. For example, in the bed, that the floating curtain, the floating piece of cloth, is the metaphor or symbolism for the inner self, which is like the id, where they have this desire of going back home or going back to where they have started their life, where they had this all beautiful memory of their childhood. That's why it's floating like a ghost above the bed. But while like the drawings of the bed depicts city skyline, which is the superego that is telling the migrants that they are born with a mission to work for the common benefit of their household or just for their future. I have created two pieces about mountains, and the first one is a cyanotype piece where I had faces of Chinese worker on them that slowly appears with me spraying water on it, and then this have a connection with the migration in China and the migrant culture of China, because the mountain is a metaphor or a symbolism for spiritual characteristics of human, and is usually for describing this people or the human as like brave and steady and stable and stuff like that. But that's like the characteristic that I see in migrants and many people who work for their life and who walks on this road that can be challenging sometimes for them. That's why I use mountain as a background to manifest their face, and the face also have a very ghostly effect when it appears. So that's me saying that the spirit of them are like mountains or on the mountains, but you never see their physical body next to the mountain or in the mountain. And the second piece of artwork that's also related to mountain is a watercolor and mixed media drawing on mountains with mechanical arms that's over top of the mountain. So this artwork also communicates the situation of internal migrants, where they have this spiritual belonging or connection with the nature and mountain and all that good characteristics, but they are working with mechanical arms that is dominating the mountain or covering parts of the mountain. Psychology and philosophy are the two areas that I find my interest in, and with the interest in these two areas, it led me to this topic about spirituality that discusses about humans' inner self and their how they express themselves to the world. As I have mentioned, for the bed and the mountains, I have had a discovery in the psychology concept and philosophical concepts, and the one that I've digged deepest in is transcendentalism and the Hudson River School and their ideology, which I have used in my project, The Gear Wheels, where I've discussed how how humans are working under their labor that might not be their ideal what they want to pursue for their life, but they're just put onto this road without their conscious decision, which is what the Hudson River School criticizes. In my 2 years of DP art, I have created several complex drawings, whether using pen or painting or charcoal. I think the most significant use or impact that complex drawings can bring to the audience and me is storytelling, the use of storytelling. For example, in my 8th artwork, which is the pen drawing, and my previous artwork, which is the charcoal drawing, they all start their narrative around a person or a figure that I try to portray through them. And then I use objects instead of directly portraying the human to communicate her or his experiences, life, background, and even what they like. So I think this is a way of me communicating that spirits or inner self or the ideology of human can be placed outside of their body or outside of the single picture of a human standing, but objects that surrounds them. For my artworks, the main goal that I want to achieve is for fostering connections. Through my artworks, I hope that my audience or whoever views my artwork can realize the connection that they've already built with the nature, with people around them, with objects that they own, or the connection that they have yet created with people or the nature or the object around them. And I would love if my artworks can be the trigger for them to build these connections, or just to realize what kind of situation that they're living and how they're connected with several thousands of threads with this world.